Yo, what's good everybody? It's your friend Naruto Taco swinging back at you with another video. Today I'm bringing you guys part 2, chapters 3 and 4 of What If Deku Was a Quirkless Hacker. Now I just want to say this before we get anything out the way. I'm kind of whispering because it's 2:25 a.m. in the morning at my house. We have guests over and I'm trying my best to be quiet, but I want to record this video and get it out before I release the 700 sub special, which is going to be What If Deku Was Nezu's bodyguard. So yeah, this is just an explanation of why I'm whispering, and hopefully you guys can get past the fact that I'm whispering and enjoy the video. And yeah, this is kind of like an ASMR what if thing. This is kind of cool. I don't know if you guys enjoy this. If you don't, let me know in the comments. And if you think I should do more ASMR what ifs, that'd be very cool. So we're just gonna pick up where we last left off with chapter 3 and 4. Alright, picking up from where we last left off, we see Retro, or Izuku Midoriya, hanging from a ledge with one hand and laughing his ass off. How did I survive that? While we see the other examinees look shocked, scared, or impressed on how he took out the 0-pointer. Whoa, he woos and laughs, and then simply asks, "Can someone help me down?" Now we see Retro wearing his clothes earlier and sitting down inside the classroom with the 18+ hero Midnight, the Blood Hero Vlad King, and the Erasure Hero Eraserhead, and of course Principal Nezu. So Mr. Nezu asks, "Retro," Izuku says while smiling at Eraserhead, "Stop smiling at me, kid, or we'll have you arrested without making a deal." Aizawa then says while hiding his smirk under his scarf, "People can't know about this, but Eraserhead is attached to the Vigilante. Why, you may ask? Well, in Retro's first year, he encountered Eraserhead. Of course, Eraser didn't know about this, but Izuku's second favorite was him in terms of the hero world. So it's basically like Christmas rolled around when he saw Eraserhead, and Retro's name started to get popular. He left Eraserhead gifts, and in one of his last-minute Christmas patrols, since that small encounter of Eraserhead, tried his best to find out who Retro was. Eraserhead would sneak around trying to find out who Retro was, but he hadn't seen anyone like that, and he kept getting random texts about hideouts, drug rings, and even human trafficking groups from Retro, trying to figure him out while still being in contact in him. So he got curious, and one time he responded to the last number that Retro gave him, and Retro's response was, "Sure." And Aizawa instantly looked behind him to see a kid in a slim dark outfit, jeans, a dark green undershirt, and a black hoodie. The kid was wearing a mask, and a weird one at that. The eyes forward, it was like he had spikes under that hoodie, and he looked really, really weird, but still cool, like something out of a cyberpunk movie. I'm gonna put an image of what Izuku's costume approximately looked like so you can get a look at his mask. "You said you wanted to see me," the kid then said with a voice changer. His voice was very deep with the voice changer on, but Aizawa could tell that was his natural voice. "Yeah, I wanted to see the guy that keeps on texting me good info, but I didn't know that guy was just a kid," Aizawa then says. "Hey, I'm not a kid," the kid whines, and his eyes turn into exclamation points. "How old are you?" Retro asked Aizawa. The voice changed when the kid whined. It turned to his regular voice, and it was all modulated. And then he redid his voice, trying to get it deep again. "I'm turning 13 this upcoming winter." "That's all you'll get, Shota Aizawa," Retro says. But then he said the man's name, and his eyes back turned from exclamation marks back into X's. So that was their first time seeing each other face to weird mask thing. And that's the backstory between Izuku and Aizawa. Izuku started feeding him information until they eventually met up in person, and Aizawa was taken aback by the fact that this person was so young, but yet so smart. Wait, deal? Izuku, or as they know him, Retro says. "Yes, a deal," Nezu replied. He was way too happy. "And what's that?" Izuku then says, genuinely curious now. "We want you to stop being a vigilante and go legal, Aizawa said before Nezu could give it a full explanation. That's why I tried out for this year's entrance exam, because I'm finally at the right age, Izuku retorts. Yes, well, but again, Nezu was interrupted. Don't think that we can't just arrest you right here now, Vlad growls. And why would you arrest a minor that just did the entrance exam? Izuku claims. For illegal quirk usage, kid, Midnight finally talked. You can't arrest me for that, Izuku then says with a really cool look. And why can't we, Mr. Retro? Nezu asked. Simple. I'm quirkless. The room was now silent. Not even the other teachers that were watching and the CCTVs were talking. The entire school felt dead. Did you just say you're quirkless? Midnight asked in disbelief. Yep, Retro replied while popping the pea. Okay. That's okay, Midnight responded. Can we please have a real name, Mr. Retro, so we can confirm this? Nezu asked while still in shock and still worried about the true nature of the kid's quirk. He was very skilled and a feared vigilante. The fact that he had no quirk was crazy. Find it, Izuku then just coldly says. What? Vlad then suddenly said as he got out of shock. I said find it. I saw my file in here earlier, but you removed it since I was quirkless, so fucking find it, Izuku then said coldly while staring at Vlad. You did the can? Okay, Nezu then starts looking through his files trying to find it. Then who did it? Who deleted his file? The guy that removed it was a new teacher. I read the reports and I heard him say a quirkless applicant. And we must have misplaced his application, so he removed it and added it to general study. Izuku then explained all of this while looking at Nezu and the other heroes. But after he spoke directly, he looks at the CCTV room and says, Isn't that right? Toshinori Yagi. Or should I say, All Might. Izuku then keeps staring while the other teachers are panicking because someone else knows All Might's secret. How did you know? Midnight asked slowly. No. I know everything, Miss Midnight. I see everything. I could expose All Might's secret, but I didn't because society itself would crumble if people found out about this, Izuku then says while looking at the 4 teachers in front of him. But he looks at the camera again and says, I suggest you start working with teams, All Might, and don't overshadow them. Ease society into accepting the symbol of peace's retirement. You're no god. You're human as well, and humans have limits, and it's best if you address them now before society crumbles in its hands for lying for too long. Izuku said that with conviction, determination, and drive. It just impressed the UA staff on how far ahead of his peers Izuku was thinking. So, Izuku cracks his neck. Allow me to properly introduce myself. I am Izuku Midoriya, also known as Retro the Phantom, the Vigilante. And my quirk? Well, I have none. So let's get this interview started, shall we? He said this with an ever so cheery smile on his face, and after this introduction, just like that, Aizawa had found his problem child. That is the end of chapter 3. If you guys enjoyed that chapter, why don't you go ahead and like the video. If you haven't already, join the Discord in the description and follow my Instagram. Let's get on to the next part of this video. I don't want to hold you guys up for too long. Chapter 4, the deal and the move-in. So you're telling me that I can still be a student here, go out patrolling as long as I'm with this Eraserhead, and you won't arrest me? And I get to redesign the security on one of the most famous hero schools, Izuku then recalls. Yes, and yes. So, will you take our deal, Mr. Midoriya? Nezu then confirms. The catch. What is it? Izuku asks wearily. You need to help that every time a hero asks for it, Give free info for the police and give us heads up if you're going on raids when you're patrolling. Like you said, Aizawa will be with you at all times. You have to help Power Loader and designing new tech and advancing much more older ones. Of course, we'll give you free resources as well. That's all in the deal too. And you'll be my personal student, Nezu then explains. And to be completely honest, it's a pretty good deal. Not that much restrictions. And you can get free stuff and from the smartest mammal on Earth. It's an amazing deal. So, my vigilante identity. I'm guessing my classmates need to know it. They will learn. If we have emergencies because we might take you out of class to do some hacking or some reconnaissance when need be, Nezu supplies it. So what about internship and work studies? Izuku retorts. Well, they will need to know your identity, Nezu then replied back. Hero suit. Can I make it into the lab with Power Loader? Depends on what you're going to do. My gadgets. Can I move my inventions here? Depends on what it is. While the other teachers are watching the 15-year-old kid do business with their boss, some watching, some on their phone, midnight. They are all just amazed at this kid and his great brain. It's a 3D printer that can make an RC and quadcopter drones fully functional even when you just take it out. And they can make non-lethal firearms, Izuku then says, while hesitantly mentioning the firearms. When Izuku said that, Nezu was surprised. That means they've got more support gear and it all can be made in an instant. Can you modify our stuff so we can make other stuff like yours? Yeah, stuff like support gear, eraser scarves, snipes guns, tasers. Yes, as long as there's enough money and materials. But remember, there's limits to them. I'm not Momo Yararazu, the recommendation student that has that creation quirk. I presume you looked at the students' lists. Money and materials are no problem, Mr. Midoriya. Yes, I look, and I saw the guy with the stick of his ass tried out for the recommendation exam but failed. So that's where I saw him today. But anyways, I'll take the deal, and Izuku accepts. Great, we will start classes in 2 weeks. So I suggest you move the 3D printer here, so you can teach Power Loader how to use it. And I'll inform him on giving you your own station and giving supplies to make your support items for your hero work. Congratulations, Mr. Midoriya. You are UA's first Quirkless hero student, and of course, the first vigilante to ever go legal in such a way. Nezu then says cheerfully and has a huge smile on his rat, dog, beer face. We'll send you the schedule when we finish making it, Nezu says with a smile and a nod. So, you're really retro, Aizawa asks, and now they're sitting in a diner close to UA. Aizawa is drinking his coffee while Izuku's eating a burger with a side of fries. Yep, Izuku says with his mouthful. Finish chewing before you speak, kid, Aizawa then says with an amused face. Sorry. I'm just really hungry, you know. So, what do you want to talk about? Sorry, Izuku says while blushing in the end. He's munching down his food. I want to ask you questions. I've had them for a long time now. I can erase the quirk from part of my list, but my first question is, where's your parents? Aizawa says. When Aizawa asks that, Izuku just looks up and down on his food and pushes it away a little. Well, my mom's in a coma, and she's been like that for 5 years now. That's why I started doing this vigilante things. I needed to pay for her bills, so you don't need to say it, kid. I won't arrest you. You're still a minor and your mom's in the hospital, I get it. Aizawa then said to Izuku. And my dad, haven't met the bastard. Mom says he's working overseas, but when Mom went to the coma, the bastard didn't even write, call, or anything. I know he just ran away when I was 4, when he found out I was quirkless, Izuku says while now drinking his water. I'm sorry. For what? Asking your future student and the kid that will give you presents a question? Nah, you don't need to say that. I've lived on my own since I was 10, and look, I'm healthy, I survived. I even became a vigilante to save people that can't save themselves. So I'm gonna say I'm living quite well. Izuku then finished and started to eat his burger again. So, where do you live? Why, you gonna stalk me? Izuku said with a smirk. No, kid. I just want to know if your living condition is safe. It's safe, but I kinda need to move. The owner of the apartment complex found out I was transferring my bills to my neighbors. Izuku then said with a nervous chuckle. Want to live with me? Whoa, chill, man. I can find a new place. I don't want to live with my future teacher. How many times do I have to tell you? I'm only into girls, Izuku then said with a smirk. How many times I have to tell you? I have a boyfriend, Aizawa then said unamused. I don't know, I just want to see almighty Eraserhead blush. I'm serious, kid. You want to move in with me and Sashi? You have an extra room for a guest if you want to use it, Aizawa then proposed. You serious about this? I'm really loud, messy, and I rarely sleep. You kinda just described me and Sashi mixed together. Plus, we have cats. How many? 6. I'm in. Aizawa then smirks and dials up his boyfriend. So, is this the infamous Vigilante Retro? President Mike or Hisashi Yamada asks no one in particular. Good to meet you, Mike. I always listen to your radio show when I'm working on my inventions, Izuku then says while stretching his hand out for a shake. And he smiles. I already like you, little listener, Yamada says while shaking out the stretched hand. You done with the introduction? Zao walks out with his cat on his head and his hands in his pocket, and he still got on his hero suit. That's right. I was surprised when I was reading this too, but President Mike and Aizawa are actually in a relationship in this weird AU what-if thing. And I was weirded out at first, but I actually really like this relationship. Let's move on. Yeah, who's this little guy, Izuku asked while Aizawa helped the cat to get down. Oh, this one? His name is Mocha, Aizawa then supplies while smiling down at Mocha. Really? Do all of your 6 cats have names related to coffee? Izuku then retorts while laughing. Yep, Hisashi replied. You said you liked it, Aizawa then said, feeling betrayed. I do. It's just funny show. And I think Mocha likes the little listener, Mike then says while he watches Mocha try to climb up Izuku's pants. There, little guy, Izuku then says while picking up Mocha off his pants. You want to ride my hair next? Izuku said while smiling at Mocha and putting him on his head. Let's go inside, said Aizawa. And they proceed to introduce the rest of the cats to Izuku and point him to where his room will be while using his 3D printer now in UA. Thank you again, Eraser, for this, Izuku says while plopping down on the couch. No problem, child, Aizawa says while giving the food to the cats. Problem child, Izuku asked with a raised eyebrow. That's what he calls his favorite students, Hisashi supplies while entering the living room. Aww, I'm your favorite and I haven't even started yet, Izuku then jokes. Don't push it, problem child, Aizawa says with a half glare. Okay, said Izuku while putting his hands up in a mock surrender. And you can just call me Aizawa or Shota if you want. We've technically known each other for like 4 years now, Aizawa then said while storing the rest of the cat food away. Sure, Shota, but I'll still call you Eraserhead from time to time. But I'm guessing in school I gotta call you Aizawa, am I correct? Izuku then asked the now sitting Aizawa. But when we're going on patrols, you call me by my hero name, Aizawa confirms. Hi, Eraserhead-san, Izuku then said, mockingly while smiling and giving the 2-finger salute. I'm serious, problem child, Aizawa then says, with his hair slightly floating, giving Izuku a half glare again. I know, Izuku then retorts with his 1,000,000-watt smile. So, you got a hero suit, little listener? As Hisashi now asks, sitting beside Aizawa and putting his head on Aizawa's shoulder. Oh, yeah. I'm going for a different style now. Same with the mask, but I'm keeping goggles with emojis on there. Izuku says while chuckling, remembering how excited he is when the mask started working. Oh, why? I kinda like the old mask, Aizawa says. I'm sorry, little listener, but what mask? I haven't even seen your gear yet. Oh, let me get the mask, Izuku says while standing up. He's a good kid, Shell, Yamada says to his boyfriend. Yeah, he really is, Aizawa replied, while they're interlocking arms together. Here it is, Izuku then says, walking back into the living room wearing his old vigilante mask. I'm planning on it to wear it normal and, pull up the mask, adding some goggles on there. But I still want to take out the screens and add new ones so they can have emotions. Izuku hands the mask to Hisashi, taking it off. So, this is what you first saw when you met him, Shell, Mike said, trying on the mask. So how do I look? Hisashi said while his eyes go from X's to exclamation marks. So it's based on facial expressions. I thought you could control it, Aizawa said, impressed. Nah, I really tried hard on getting that little detail up, Izuku smiled. So you a little punk rocker listener? This mask looks like one. Only a little bit. I'm more into hip-hop now since it feels like better when I'm dancing, When I'm running from roof to roof, I really like hopping to the beat. Izuku finished his explanation, taking the mask off and setting it on the table. Well, good night, little listener. Night, Shell. And remember, don't be too reckless when patrolling, Hisashi says while kissing Aizawa on the cheek and proceeds to head to bed. I'll be heading out patrolling, problem child. You can tag along when Nezu reports what happened today, Aizawa says while going to the front door. Sure. I'm working on my hero suit, so I'll leave patrolling to you tonight, Izuku then says with a smile. Good night, problem child, Aizawa said, closing the door behind him. Now, Izuku says while rubbing his hands, it's time to improve my drones. Yep, and that is chapter 4. The story is finally getting to be something good. And I don't want to worry about the drama and the bullshit. Shout out to Dude Epic, the creator of this story. I will leave his links to the description for this amazing Wattpad AU. I'm really starting to enjoy this. If you guys want more, you already know what to do. Let's try to get 25 likes, and I will drop part 3, which is chapters 5 and 6, like that. It'll be up the next day as soon as we hit 25 likes, I promise you that. And yeah, this story is just getting better and better every chapter. Let me know what you think about Present Mike and Aizawa's relationship. Let me know what you think about the fact that Aizawa moved in with Izuku, or Izuku moved in with Aizawa. And let me know what you think about Retro. Do you like how cool Izuku is? And what do you think he's really going to be like when he starts school in UA? Anyway, guys, what do I do for my outro again? Shine your lovely rays upon the subscribe button, click that like button, and you make my day. Every single one of you that watch these videos. So I appreciate every one of you who watch till the end. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you in the future. Peace.
She like yaddy yaya, she like yaddy yaya. Bitch, I'm rooting for ya. Bitch, I'm rooting for ya. She like yaddy yaya, she like yaddy yaya. Bitch, I'm rooting for ya. Bitch, I'm rooting for ya.
Bitch, I'ma break the bank. Bitch, I'ma break the bank. Bitch, I'ma break the bank. Bitch, I'ma run at the check. Bitch, I'ma ball like a ref. Bitch, I'ma ball like a ref. She bout to give me some nut. Nigga, they mad and not like me. Shawty, she bad, wanna be on my team. Photo the gap, bitch, I'm going to speed. You shot at a Glock and it came with a beat.